Hi, Beef. How are you? Oh, I love your remotes so much. I'm alright. I just had my lecture. It wasn't entirely torn to shreds, but I did get helpful advice on how to do all of the things I've been struggling to do in ZBrush. I've done a tiny bit of work on it. It was even weirder and grosser than before. We're gonna make it even weirder and grosser than this. But this is kind of where we're currently at. So, my lecturer has given some very helpful advice, including some really helpful tool advice. So the first thing we're going to do is for selections, I'm going to do something slightly different. And I'm going to use the mask lasso. It's actually quite difficult to use. God damn it. Maybe just use the brush because it was easy. See, this is the... Wait. I just realized. Do I have to, like... There's a setting, isn't there? Using the tool in the set axis views. What the... You just gave me a lot of words. I'll be brutally honest, I don't know what any of them mean. There was a tool I wanted to check, but I can't remember which it is. I think it's in brush somewhere. Oh. Shiny. Okay, right. You know, that's most of the best I'm gonna get, to be honest. Okay. So, what I need to do is split mask points. Boom. Okay. It's not perfect, but it will work. Now the legs are mostly separate from the rest of it. I'm gonna do this with a bunch of things quickly. That's the plan. Hello, Mr. Big Chubby. Split master points. Slowly gonna hide more and more of our alien. You shouldn't be what? You're fine. Okay, I'm gonna turn you off. Okay. We're going to do the hands as well. It's a separate piece. Split multiples. Cool. Okay. Now we have it in pieces, and I'm going to add a new piece. We're going to reconnect all of this. Turn off the mask. Cool. So, and then the next thing we're going to do is we'll do a hand. And I need a sphere. Okay. How did I hide the full body? That was not deliberate. There we go. Let me turn it down. Oh yeah, okay, it was on full volume, that's why. Thank you for telling me. So, there are problems with the musical ways because my headphones independently have a volume control, so I don't actually know what the volume control going in is, unless people tell me. So thank you for informing me, that is very helpful. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do something cool. So, we're going to turn on a setting and we're going to do something fun with it. But the first thing we need is snake hook. And enable. I can't remember how to enable sculptress mode. This one. And we'll go around this way. Ready? Whee! Okay, maybe I need to make the sphere bigger. Yep. This is the issue. Move it to the side for a second. We can work with it again. Yeah, minute. Okay. And then we're going to grab inflate. Or as it is generally written here, inflat. And then we're going to inflate the end. And maybe a little bit of the midsection. We're inflating the end because we're going to go back to snake hook and we're going to hook it. Which is fine. I'm just going to smooth that away a bit. And actually, I'm going to then snake hook from the other side, right? And then we're going to use our time-honored inflat tool once more. And we're going to grab the snake hook again. That's not right. Oh, that's good. Then we turn off sculptures. I'm tempted. Boom. But we're gonna rotate it more actually. I think that's nicer. And there's a couple of other things I want to do, so I'm gonna go back to draw and I'm just gonna mask all of that, I think. Yeah, I think that's nice. Now I've got to sculpt it, which means we go to the damn standard. So let's just start here. I want it to feel quite chitinous. A little weird, of course. Some nice texture to it as well. I'm going to sculpt entirely on this side for a minute, and then duplicate it, right? So that I could also just already duplicate it and symmetry it, right? But there's actually not really much point right now, in my opinion. I'm going to need to inflate this again. Gotta be quite careful not to make it too thin. I've given it quite a lot of thought as to whether I wanted this to come across as more biological or mechanical, and I think biological is the end result. But I really thought about mechanical for a bit, because I thought it could be really cool if it had like a mech arm talon-y thingy. But in the end, I think the bio version is more interesting, and somewhat more unique as a concept as well. I'm worried that that's quite a thick joint. Yeah, I would agree. So I'm going to do is put in some interesting breaks in the thing so that it can appear a little bit more bitty, but I think that's actually not a great solution. That was the original plan, but I think almost having it like that is nicer. Try not to over-focus on any one bit for too long. I think it's quite important to jump a little bit between areas so that you keep it fresh in your brain. I do this when illustrating as well, right? I'm spending forever on one tiny detail, which is tempting. I think it's really helpful to jump between details, so you're always focusing on something that's keeping your brain fresh in a project. I'm going to use the move tool a tiny bit. I just want to manipulate this a little. And yeah, I agree with you, Beef. I think chitin is such a cool material to work with. I always feel better working with chitin than other materials in some ways. Actually, always is maybe a bit strong, but often I feel really good working with chitin. It's such a fun material. It's dynamic and interesting and just kind of unique to work with as well, which is always a pleasure. I like working with things that are different. You can get a lot of variety very simply. So I don't love these joins. That's my one thing right now. Is I think all of these connections are a little weak. Yeah. So I've always been divided on the pronunciation of this as well. Yeah, I don't actually know what the correct one would be. I would imagine chitin, probably. In a very classical sense. It sounds right, but at the same time I'm just like, eh. Chitin. It makes me think of insects more. That's it. That's the reason. How can I flip something? Flip something. Deformation. Mirror. Boom. Alright, because we have dynamic perspective on. What do we think? I think they might need to be a little more displaced. What am I looking for? Subtool. Okay, let's have them together. Never mind, let's not have them together. Duplicate. Deformation. Mirror. Cool. then what we're going to do is we're going to take this one and we're going to manipulate it down to like here maybe. Yes, I think that's better. So then we're going to take subtool here, and we're going to do the same thing. Yeah, I think that's more intimidating, isn't it? I think that silhouette is stronger. And the slight asymmetry is nice too. Now what I just need to do... Okay, we're going to go back to draw, we're going to go back to inflate. Wait, I can now merge this down. If I turn on symmetry, that probably helps. Let's just inflate a little bit along here. And at the back here, it gets inflated. And in here, it gets inflated. Yes. I think those are nice. I think the minor asymmetry is nice too, personally. And now, okay, we're gonna do some more changes. I'm gonna turn off the hands, and I'm gonna do another append. Another sphere. Yes, definitely more claw arms. Okay, I'm gonna get our snake hook. I'm gonna do the sculptures mode. We are... There's a purpose here. That's what I wanted. Inflate. Doo-doo-doo. And let's start using a dam brush now. Oops. Too smooth. Yeah, I don't know the change. I think it's a bit of an improvement over the previous one, right? Who needs to text your friends when you look this good, huh? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I want it to be. Because my original idea was for it to be more like a stinger. I'm also noticing that like this new mesh does not have nearly enough polygons for this. Yeah, I kind of want to feel like it's you're right though. Maybe we There's actually a really easy way to do this though, right? Compared to anything else. Let's capture it right there, maybe. Okay, I need to do it from further away. That whole section. Yeah. And then that's weird. Let's try that. That's better. Right. Maybe it was better with just the singular joint. Yeah, I think it's better. Oh. YouTube's fault. Which means I want this to feel a bit different. Okay. Let's just push that in and pull these out a bit further. Smooth. For some uniformity. I want to be really thin. Maybe that's too thin. By just a little bit. Alright. So then we're going to duplicate this. We're going to go to deformation mirror. And there we go. What do we think of it? What I might do next is I might actually do some more adjusting. So I might move these. Actually, I don't need to make them bigger particularly. Because what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to do another subsection quickly. And then bulk it more. And I can resculpt this middle bit. Actually, maybe not. Maybe I need to make it a little tighter in. I like that. So let's go here. Yeah, and just make the whole midriff bigger. What about that? I think that's alright. Alright, I'm gonna have to wrap up the stream here because I gotta go to another lecture, but I hope we enjoyed it today. Thank you for all your help accompanying me. I'm gonna keep going another day. As a whole, I think this this works. Weirdly, I actually quite like that kind of fleshy stretch it's got going on there. I think the last tiny thing I'm gonna do is just like indent where I'm gonna indent it, right? I think the like weird fleshy section works quite well. The stretch of it, although a bit gross, actually, I think is really effective. Let me see if I can do that. There's a way, right? Oh yeah, wait, let me... I know a way. I just need to save this properly before I do it to make sure I don't mess it up. I want this to be rounded and built up. I want this to be a round that's built up. And that can have a little round that's built up. What did Automod say? Wait, what? Oh, Automod. You are overly strict. You're vicious. Unnecessary. Okay, I'm just adding a little bit of weird, stretchy, fleshy goodness. Cool. So let's do like a side angle view. Oh, there's this like angling. Wait, what's that from? From this? What? There's a tiny floating piece of clay for no reason. Cool. Let's just take a screenshot of that. And then I'm gonna save it as a tool. Alien body 2. Okay, and then we're gonna load. Okay, so A. This is what we started with. This is where we're at right now. What we started with, where we're at right now. Alright, I do actually need to run, so I'm gonna raid and dash Thank you for hanging out. I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow, actually. Maybe Monday. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Thanks for joining. Have a lovely day.
The least I can do was just watch other people's reactions, watch closely how this person react when some other person says this. Oh, they react negatively, so I probably shouldn't do the thing that that person did. Oh, this person did this thing and they seem to like it. Maybe that is a more acceptable behavior. It took my entire life worth of experience to try and slowly build myself to appear normal. It's not an easy thing, I know. It's not an easy thing, but it's a possible thing that you can do.
Yeah, that's not been convincing to Alice. Here, I'll put it in a different way. Look, you have to do all that. The answer is no. Frankly, it really doesn't. No. Like, I completely agree with you, Lee. It's just, I don't think it's going to connect with Alice in the slightest. Here, I'll put it in a different way. Oh, sorry, we got a raid. Let me deal with this first. Hello, Caldron. Welcome in, Raiders. How stream? Sorry, we're having a bit of conversation right now. How was art? How's stream? Do you get up to any art, or were you streaming something else? I have no empathy. I doubt you don't have any empathy. I think you're just a bit commercially stunted and you've not been socialized around people in normal ways. And I'm guessing that you're probably somewhere like, neurodivergent in a way or two. That's my guess. I could be woefully wrong, but I am very certain of the prior. The neurodivergency I'm not so sure of. But I do